Greetings, Skippy with On the Fly Photography here. We're looking at Lightroom bugs. I know, many of you think they don't exist. It's okay. So this is an interesting thing I've run across. I'm throwing this out there to see if anybody can explain why this is going on. So what are we looking at here? This is a smart collection. Let me show you what the smart collection settings are. This is called metadata has been changed. So these are file types is DNG and metadata status is has been changed. So this is a smart collection which should be showing me all of the DNG files in my catalog for which the metadata has been changed. So we see the files here. They're DNG, metadata has been changed. You can tell because there's a little metadata has been changed icon. Okay, everything's great so far. So what I'm going to do, select all files, and then I'm going to come up here. I'm going to use instead of the keyboard shortcut, which I normally do, I'm actually just going to use the menu so everybody can see what's going on. Save metadata to files. I'm going to save metadata to the DNG files. Here we go. Dun 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 dun, and you can see, of course, up here saving metadata. It's going on. So just hang out with me for a minute. And of course the files are disappearing from the smart collection because the metadata has been saved and is therefore no longer changed, which makes perfect sense. And of course my filter up here is set to none, which is also a good thing. Oddly enough, and look! Suddenly, some of the files for which we have just saved the metadata magically reappear in the collection of files where the metadata has been changed. Now, in that time between when I saved the metadata and when those files reappeared, I certainly didn't do anything to the files. You'll notice not all of them reappeared, and that's one of the weird things about this. This whole thing is weird, of course. It's these same files that consistently do this. So the question is there something perhaps wrong with these files? Let's do two things. Let's pick one of these. I'm going to hit Show in Explorer to bring that up. And so let me zap that over. So here are the Explorer files. That's odd. Normally when you do that, the file is highlighted. Let me see, which one is this? Let's zoom in here. So that's 530. La 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 la. There we go. All right. I'm bringing this up because as I was looking at this, so here is the file. Here we see it. It's a DNG file. When this first started happening, I thought, okay, well, one possibility, one thing that might make this happen is what if these files somehow or another got changed to read only. Now, you'll notice too, let me point this out, that the files, and I'll show you this in a minute actually, these files are not the only files from this shoot. These are not the only files in that directory. But let's go back to that one particular image. Maybe it's read-only, because that would certainly cause this to be happening. It's not read-only. I mean, I'll change it to read-only, apply. I'll change it to not read-only, apply. It's not a read-only file. So that's not what's going on. And we'll just do it again. I'm going to save metadata. It went bye-bye. It'll come back. We don't need to hang around for that. We can do this. We can go to folder in library, and we'll see that all of these that have been colored have been edited. They've had metadata changes made to them. The metadata for these other files saves to the DNG file just fine. Suddenly I can't talk. But then again, what else is new? And there we can see that the particular file that I just checked is back again. So anyhow, it's only out of the, let's see, and of course, I mean, these files are available. We just went there. These are on an external drive. But I mean, this is my V drive. So of these, well, that's not my images. So there we go. Of the 31,359 DNG files that are on this hard drive, these right here are the only ones that this happens to. Again, they're not read-only. I've checked that. I'm certainly not changing the metadata. So the question is this a bug in Lightroom, which some of you will assert is impossible? is there some weird program running in the background that is somehow or another changing this metadata? Because Adobe, I've noticed, is notorious for installing all kinds of crap on my computer that starts in the background that I don't know about. Is something happening in Lightroom that's actually changing the metadata on these files? Is the metadata on these files actually changing, or does Lightroom just think for some reason that it's changing? Is there some kind of confusion? Is that reason? Because I can't really say for sure if the metadata is even changing or not. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. And there seems like there's something else. Okay, covered that. Yep, the files are fine. The files are there. The files are intact. The files work just fine. I can edit them. There's nothing I can figure out wrong. Oh, so all of these have been converted from raw files to DNG files using the Adobe DNG converter program. Again, they're all converted with the same software. So they're all DNG. They're all the same type of DNG because all of this all the way down here are one shoot. These are all shot at the same time, converted at the same time, imported at the same time, post-processed more or less at the same time. Yeah, so I mean, what's going on? I don't use Adobe Bridge, so I don't think that's involved. Oh, and of course, some people are going to say something about Photoshop. I don't use Photoshop. There's no Photoshop going on, so Photoshop should not be changing any of these. So anyway, yeah, I mean, there it is. If you have an idea why it is that I can save my metadata, there we go, saving metadata, why I save the metadata on these DNG files, and then suddenly the metadata changes again, magically and miraculously. I'm not touching the computer, nowhere near, there it goes. And there's our little metadata has changed thingy. So yeah, if you got ideas on that, hit me up, leave a comment below. I would appreciate any leads as to what the heck is going on here. Thanks much.